The Basotho nation has faced a lot of challenges, some due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and Vodacom Lesotho has stepped in and lended a helping hand to give back to the community. So today we are here to witness the issuance of 2 million worth of bursaries to Basotho students who are going to study both in Lesotho and outside the country. It is on this note that Newsday took time to speak with the telecommunications giant's managing director, Mr. Mohala Ralebitso, to get more on what Vodacom has done in the previous year.
When COVID-19 came upon us, I doubt that any of us had any sense of what we were in for. So when we were called upon to assist, we committed some $1 million, yielding about 15 million maluti, towards the procurement of vaccines. We also then assisted with communication on a zero-rated basis to the country so that people can come to understand how we can prevent ourselves from getting COVID-19 in the first place, and also the issues of distancing and all the other things that were an important part of, frankly, keeping us alive during the pandemic. But the most significant contribution we made was the 15 million or so maluti, plus a further, we didn't keep the cap on the amount in terms of the cost of communication to the country around the washing of hands, distancing, and a whole host of other behavioral interventions that we needed to stay safe. The heavy rains are a challenge that we've been busy with a number of stakeholders looking at the agricultural space to use technology in order to better manage inputs into the agri-sector. Through the use of the Internet of Things and other things, we'll be making announcements in the months to come once those partnerships have gotten to the point of allowing us to be able to execute actual projects. We have discussions with government, NGOs and others to see what we need to do, because separate from the rains having come and the damage that they've caused, we have an issue of how to make the land more productive so that the available land produces what the country needs, and we stop this thing of stripping our mountains and other things bare of the natural foliage. Is a serious problem in the country, and we have to more responsibly make use of our land and ensure that we're more productive where we are able to plant. We have a number of interventions where across our operations we outsource a range of services to locally owned companies which employ Basotho. So sometimes people look at Vodacom and they look at the number of people we employ directly. There's at least as many people who are working with us through Basotho-owned companies who provide services to Vodacom. And all of those companies have continued to be able to employ their staffers throughout the pandemic period. Other companies were forced to have to retrench, and while we understand that we at Vodacom did not retrench a single soul. We kept our entire workforce on, we kept on working with our contractors who were able to continue with work, and we're very grateful for that. Separate from that, we ran competitions where we assisted a number of small and medium enterprises with free connectivity, and the idea was to educate them around how to use technology so that they can work from home and so that the shutdowns don't disrupt their operations. So over the years, we have a proud record of working with local companies who we particularly implore to not only embrace our safety and security and other programs, but who work on a higher level where if those people were to become suppliers into the Vodacom group outside of Vodacom Lesotho, they would find themselves able to provide services because we maintain a very high standard in terms of the levels of discipline that must be able to maintain. So we're very proud of the work we've done with locally owned Basotho companies, and we're aiming to do even more, not only in building towers, but in rolling out the range of other services that we're going to be bringing to market in the months and years to come. We're happy with our progress, but we would love to be able to have 4G available nationally. We have it in substantial parts of the country, 4G or LTE as it's sometimes called, so that people are able to enjoy the speed that we're able to offer, and we offer that speed reliably and continuously. We'd love to be able to offer that on a full-on basis. As you know, we've launched 5G and we're doing a continuing pilot under the auspices of the LCA. We would love to be able to do more, and the idea is that things should not only be within arm's length of desire, but once one connects, that those speeds should be as good as you find anywhere in the world. I'd love for us to be able to do more to continue to subsidize 3G and 4G devices. We're currently subsidizing them now, but we do so within our financial limits. I'd love to subsidize more devices so that we can get people connected more on 4 and 3G, because then they're part of the digital revolution. The technologies allow for us to be able to continue to communicate, but we want Lesotho to be a high-speed, reliable environment for anyone and everyone to connect. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, that one of the things that we did towards the latter part of last year was also to reduce prices, because the idea is that we know now that people have to communicate more and they're less able to do so physically with the pandemic having hit. So we've reduced prices to not only allow for more communication, but to also allow that more people can enjoy what we have to offer. Okay. Then BESA service continues to grow in terms of the number of people who are able to make use of that, which eases the flow of money and us being able to support one another in the country. So I'm particularly proud of that, but I'm hopeful that we can continue to grow it so that absolutely every person who wants to be connected is connected, and absolutely every person who wants to be able to be included financially is able to be included through BESA and the range of other services that we're going to offer on the back of the BESA financial services offering. Of the 1,000 or so applications that we received from the young people who contested for the bursary program that we have, on which we've invested an initial 2 million maluti. I hope that it says to those young people that somebody other than your parents cares about your success, and through that we can encourage those young people to focus on their studies without having to worry about money issues while they are studying. I also want to send a message to the others outside on behalf of Vodacom Lesotho that says that we're very much working on ensuring that we continue to do more in society. Education, particularly in science, technology, engineering and maths, is absolutely fundamental, because even where you have high unemployment levels, you find that in those disciplines there's low unemployment levels for those people with highly specialized skills. So I'm hopeful that more than supporting those 10 young people and their families, it's a message to all of us to say that we can do more together. I also made mention of the fact that we're going to launch a crowdfunding platform which will allow that other people who, if they say that we care about skills development in the country, and hopefully we'll come up with a substantial sum which will have absolutely good governance in terms of ensuring that we give it to deserving young people, and not just to give them money but to give them support through the learning program and to give them exposure to the work environment, so that there's a link between what people are studying and what they eventually do, which hopefully means that there's less risk of them not being successful and a greater risk of them being a resounding success.
And obviously we don't have to worry about them not being employed, because Vodacom has already laid a platform for that.
We'll have laid a platform, and one of the things I'm excited about isn't only about what we do employing people, is we're going to down the line launch an enterprise development program, the specifics of which we'll come to, and we'll aim to enlist some of those young people to start their own businesses where they can sell services to Vodacom. They can be developers for themselves and not just inside of Vodacom. The idea is that we're developing those skills for the country. It's our gift to those young people, to the country. For those who choose to come work at Vodacom, they'll be more than welcome. And during the period of their studies, they'll have access to Vodacom to apply the skills that they're gaining, but they're under no obligation to have to work for Vodacom. There's no cost whatsoever that they have to. The only payback we ask of them is to pay it forward and ensure that the country moves forward.
Vodacom Lesotho is a member of Vodafone's Africa Family, a group of telecommunications operators in various states of Africa, partially local owned. Vodacom Lesotho provides leading telecommunications solutions through extensive investment in latest infrastructure and human capital. Vodacom Lesotho prides itself in having a better understanding of the domestic market, having been in Lesotho for 2 decades, since 1996.